Guys, so here's your homework help video for your quiz review number 3 worksheet. So again, you guys have a quiz tomorrow, so use this to your guys' advantage as much as you can. So for example 1, or for number 1, you guys, we have to factor. So remember, your guys' A value is 1, your B value, guys, is 1, and your C value, guys, is negative 30. So my suggestion would be is to use your guys' X method. A times C up top, B on the bottom. So A times C, you guys, is negative 30. B is 1. Two things that multiply to negative 30, but when added gives you guys 1. That's 6 and negative 5. And since A is equals to 1, everybody, that means our factors are just going to be x plus 6 times x minus 5. Number 2. Again, X method. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 8, and C is equal to 15. So up top, you guys, you have A times C, and the bottom you have B. A times C up top, you guys, is 1 times 15 for 15. And your guys' B value is 8. Two numbers that multiply to the top, and when added together gives you guys the bottom. That is 3 and 5. And since A is equal to 1, our factors are just going to be x plus 3 times x plus 5. Number 3. Again, A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 17, and C is equal to 72. X method, two things that multiply to 72, but when added gives you guys negative 17. A times C, B. That is going to be negative 7 and negative 10. And since A is equal to 1, our factors are just going to be x minus 7 times x minus 10. Okay, off to 4. Now we have A is equal to 3, everyone. B is equal to 11, and C is equals to 8. X method, A times C up top, B on the bottom. A times C is 3 times 8 for 24, and B value is 11. Two things that multiply to 24, but when added together gives you guys 11 is 8 and 3. A is greater than 1, which means you guys have to factor by doing the box method as well. The first term is 3x squared. Your two middle terms is going to be 8x and 3x. And your guys' last term is 8. So now you guys factor the columns and you guys factor the rows. For this column, you guys can factor out an 8. Because 8 could go into 8 and 8. For this column, you can factor out a 3 and an x, everyone. You can pull out a 3 from both of them, and you can pull out one x from both. Now look at this row. There is no number that could go into 3 and 8, but you can factor out an x because they both have an x variable. This row has nothing in common, you guys. 3 can't go into 8, and they both don't have an x variable. So the only thing you guys can pull out is a positive 1. But there are your guys' factors. 3x plus 8 times x plus 1. Number 5. A is equal to 3. You're trying to factor. B is equal to negative 11. C is equal to 8. X method. A times C up top. B on the bottom. A times C is 24. B is negative 11. Two things that multiply to 24, but when added together gives you guys a negative 11. That's negative 3 and negative 8. Since A is greater than 1, you guys are going to factor by doing your box method. So, first term, 3x squared. Two middle terms, negative 3x and negative 8x. And your guys' last term is an 8. So, factor out from here, you guys. So, again, nothing goes into 3, negative 3, or nothing goes into 8. And they both turn to x. But, since this has a negative number, everybody, you've got to pull out a negative 1. A negative 1. Now here you guys can factor out only an x. That's the only thing you guys can factor out from that column. For this row, you guys can factor out a 3 from both and an x term from both of the boxes. So you're going to factor out a 3x. Now here, you guys, you can factor out an 8, but since this has a negative in the front, you can factor out a negative 8. So your guys' factor is going to be x minus 1 times 3x minus 8. You guys can write it the other way too. 3x minus 8 times x minus 1 is the same thing. Okay, so there's your guys' factoring. Number 6, there are 4 students that have to be in a row. How many different ways can they line up? So there's 4 students, you guys, and this is your counting principle. Now you gotta ask yourself, well, first of all, there's 4 different slots, everyone. So you have to ask yourself, how many outcomes or how many students can be in each slot? Well, there's 4 different possibilities there. Now, if someone's already standing there, you guys, how many possible students can be standing here? 3 of them, because since 1's already here, there's 3 there. If 3 is already here, you guys, right, if someone's already occupying here and here, then that means there's only 2 that can occupy there and 1 there. 4 times 3 times 2, you guys, will give you all the different ways, which is going to be 24. Kobe, 24. 7. A person rolls a 5-sided die and a 6-sided die, you guys. How many different combinations are there with the 2 dice? Well, here's this dice times this dice. How many different outcomes can come from the first dice? 5. How many different outcomes can come from the second dice? 6. 5 times 6, 30 different combinations are possible there. Counting principle at its finest. Okay, number 8. Jen rolls a 6-sided die. Which word or phrase describes the probability of getting an even number? Well, if it's 6-sided, you guys, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, out of these numbers, how many of these are even? 2, 4, and 6. Which is 3 out of 6 chance, which is a 1/2. So the likelihood of probability of getting an even number, you guys, it's 50%, which means it's an equal chance. So that's going to be A. 9. Craig spin a spinner with not from 1 to 10. Which word or phrase describes the probability of getting a number less than 4? Well, the only numbers less than 4, you guys, is 1, 2, and 3. So that is going to be an unlikely chance of getting 1, 2, or 3. 10. In the diagram to the left, what's the probability of selecting these items? Right answer as a percentage. So, what's the probability of getting a circle? Well, first you guys should count how many there are total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's 16 in total, you guys. Shapes. Now, how many of those are circle? 5 out of 16. And to find the percentage, you guys, pretty much you guys have to do 5 divided by 16. And if you guys do 5 divided by 16, this is going to give you guys 0.3125, and if you guys were to make that a percentage, that's 31.25% chance. Divide 5 divided by 16, you guys, and then you get 0.3125. Move the decimal place 2 to the right to get the percentage. Okay, the probability that it's not a triangle. Well, I see 5 triangles in here, you guys. If you know there's 16 total, and 5 of them are triangles, then you guys know 11 of them are not triangles. 11 divided by 16, you guys, is 0.6875, and this as a percentage, you guys, move the decimal place 2 to the right. 68.75%. Now the probability of it being a square, you guys, remember there's still 16 in total shapes. 5 out of the 16, you guys, are squares. Right? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5 out of 16. Oh, okay. This one is 31.25%. Sorry, you guys. For the first one, there's 6 circles. So that's false. Sorry, the one for the circle, you guys, is false. 6 divided by 16, you guys, is 0.375. Which that one should be moving to the right, 37.5%. Sorry about that, you guys. But those should have been the answers for those 3. Okay. Here we have a problem, you guys, where there's marbles in a bag. You pick one at a time, and they are not replaced. Meaning, you guys do not put the marble back once you select it. So, the probability of getting a blue one first, you guys, there's 8 blue ones out of 20 total. So that's a probability of getting blue. Now, the black one, you guys, is 2. Now it's out of 19. Why is it out of 19 now? Because the first marble, which was blue, you guys, you did not put it back in the bag. That's what not replaced means. So we have this. We're going to simplify this, you guys. So 2 times 8 is 16. 20 times 19, you guys, is 380. Now, you guys, we can divide top and bottom by 4, I believe. We can divide top and bottom by 4. And we're going to get 4 over 380, you guys, divided by 4 is 95. So this is the probability of getting a blue one and then a black one. Okay, green. The probability of picking a green out first, you guys, is 6 out of 20 times. Now remember, you don't put that marble back, so there's 1 less green in the bag, you guys, which is 5, and there's 1 less total marble in total, which is 5 out of 19. So at first there were 6 marbles, you guys, but then when you take the first green marble out, now there's only 5, and there's 1 less one in the bag. So 6 times 5, you guys, is 30. 20 times 19 is 380. And then from here, you guys can divide top and bottom by 10. And that will give us 3 out of 38 chance of getting a green and then another green. Probability of getting a white one first, you guys, is 4 out of 20 times a blue one, you guys, which is 8 out of, there's 1 less, you guys, because you took out 1 white already. 4 times 8, you guys, is 32 over 380. And then you guys can divide top and bottom by 4. And that will give you guys 8 over 95. Probability of getting a white one and then a blue one. 14. Probability of getting a black one is 2 out of 20. Then the probability of getting a white one, it's 4 out of, so we already took a black one out, so now it's 19. And the probability of getting a green one, you guys, 6. And now you already took 2 marbles out because it's not replaced, 18. So 2 times 4 times 6, you guys, that's 48. All over 20 times 19 times 18, 6,840. So I believe you guys can divide top and bottom. It's kind of like you have to guess and check. No. I think you guys can divide top and bottom by 24. And if you guys do that, you'll get 2 all over 684 divided by 24. 285. That's the probability of getting a black, a white, and then a green. Pretty low chances. Alright, here. Suppose 2 tiles are drawn. The first tile is replaced before the second is drawn. So that means this is with replacement, which means you guys put it back. So the probability of getting an A1, you guys, is there's 15 total. And there's 6 A's, so 6 out of 15, times, we put the tile back, probability of getting a B, 4 out of 15. You guys simplify that, which means it's going to be Man, I cannot count. There's not 6 out of 15. There's 5 A's. So 5 times 4, you guys, is 20. 15 times 15 is 225. You guys can divide top and bottom by, or, well, now we're trying to find a percentage. So 20 divided by 225, you guys, is roughly around 0.0888, which, you guys, as a percentage, it is 8.9%. If you round it to the nearest 10th, it'd be 8.9%. So 20 divided by 225, you guys, gives you that. Move the decimal place 2 to the right, and that will be your guys' percentage. Now, the probability of getting A, you guys, is 5 out of 15, and the probability of getting a C is 6 out of 15. Multiply those together, so we get 30 out of 225. 30 divided by 225, you guys, is 0.1333. And move the decimal place 2 to the right, you guys, and round it to the nearest 10th. 13.3%. Okay. Alright. Next one, 17. What's the probability of selecting a solid circle or an unshaded triangle? So this is with an OR statement, you guys. So this is with addition rule. Probability of A or B, you guys, it's equal to probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. So the probability of A, you guys, which is the solid circle, is 3 out of 6. The probability of B, you guys, which is an unshaded triangle, that's 2 out of 6. Minus the probability of A, 3 out of 6 times B, 2 out of 6. So we're going to get 3, we can add these together, you guys. So 3 plus 2, you guys, is 5, 6, because they have the same common denominator. Minus 3 times 2, you guys, which is 6 over 36. Now we gotta get the same common denominator, everybody. So we gotta multiply this by 6 and this one by 6 so that they have the same common denominator. We got 30 over 36, you guys, minus 6 over 36, which is 24 over 36, you guys. And if we write this as a percentage, 24 divided by 36, you guys, that's going to give us 0.666666. And if you guys move the decimal place over 2 to the right, it's going to be 66.7%. That's the probability of getting in a solid circle or an unshaded triangle. Okay, what's the probability of selecting a solid square or an unshaded circle? So the probability of A or B, you guys, is equal to a probability of A plus a probability of B minus the probability of A and B. Probability of A, you guys, the probability of getting a solid circle, a solid square, is 2 out of 6. And the probability of getting an unshaded circle, you guys, is 4 out of 6. Minus the probability of both of them combined. So 2 over 6 times 4 over 6. So we're going to get 6 over 6, you guys, minus 2 times 4 is 8. 6 times 6, you guys, is 36. Common denominator, so we can get this to be common denominator 36, you guys. So we're going to get 36 minus 8, you guys, over 36, which is going to be 28 over 36. Now, if you guys did do 28 divided by 36, you'll get 0.777777 and so on, which is roughly 77.8%. Move the decimal place 2 to the right and round to the nearest 10th. And our last one, you guys, right answer as percent. So what's the probability of selecting a student that has a car? Well, here is the students that have a car, which is 18, out of the total students, you guys, which is 30. 18 divided by 30, you guys, is 0.6. And if you guys round that to the, if you guys move the decimal place 2 to the right, you'll get that that's 60% chance of selecting a student that has a car. What's the probability of selecting a student that has no car or a female? So no car, female. How many students is that, you guys? That's a total of 10 plus 7 plus 5 all over 30 of them. That's 22 over 30, you guys. 22 divided by 30, you guys. That is 0.73333 and so on. And this, as a percentage, everybody, is move the decimal place 2 to the right and round it to the nearest tenth. 73.3%. And there's your guys' quiz review.